Alright guys, at number 1, Resident Evil 4 Remake just came around once again with only a few more seconds of gameplay, to be quite frank, just in case you missed it. Now the remake itself, if you are somehow new to, well, technically follows the launch of Resident Evil Village Winter Expansion and Resident Evil Reverse as well, which we're gonna mention later today, and also the fact that it is in development for PCs, the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S, well, not to mention the previous generation consoles as well, and due for release March 24 next year. Just check it out in case you missed it.
6 years after the events in Raccoon City, depicted in Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3. The main character of the game, Leon S. Kennedy, survived the Raccoon City incident and was assigned as an agent directly under the President of the United States. Leon is dispatched to a quiet village in Europe as part of a mission to rescue the kidnapped daughter of the president. You might notice Leon is much more mature and fearless due to his past experiences. In order to truly bring out the concept of terror of people controlled by madness, the Ganado have been completely redesigned. The over-the-shoulder camera returns, of course. Leon arrives at a dense and dangerous forest. We want to nail the feeling of loneliness and fear of not knowing what lies ahead, even more so than the original. Of course, there will also be thrilling battles. People that played the recent Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 should find this familiar.
この話がすごい好きだったんで、その話をベースにちょっと一回考えてみたらどうみたいな。皮膚感もね、象とかからモチーフで持ってこれたり、サイとかね、象から持ってこれたりして、すごく
Coming up behind that, we have Dragon's Dogma's sequel. Just recently, Capcom actually showcased a 10th anniversary video for Dragon's Dogma, and well, just in case you missed it, pretty much towards the end of the thing, went on and announced that finally Dragon's Dogma 2 is in development. Now this is technically after 10 years of wait since the original game, which was an open-world RPG MMO, but as in the case of the sequel now, well, no platforms have been confirmed for the game as of yet. All we know is that it'll release by the end of 2023 at its earliest.
原点に立ち返ったようなねものをビジュアル化しようっていうことになったよね。
When you go looking for strength, it's not like a game. This journey doesn't have a real ending.
Alright guys, look, just in case you missed out on the news, so during this year's State of Play, which took place about a couple of months ago, Street Fighter 6 did come our way after 6 years of wait, and it appeared alongside a few new confirmed characters in addition to a 2023 release window. The fact that it is now coming to all consoles in addition to PCs, as always, Capcom then eventually went on and released a hefty amount of gameplay for it too in the past couple of months. Now here's what it is all about. This game is coming to both generations of consoles in addition to PCs, and this is how it really looks.
The top player is here!
Let me have some fun!
Ready? Then show me.
This will be a good fight.
the other hand, and technically right now there is literally no official release date for this one, what we have here following a pretty monthly rumor, Resident Evil 9, or what some folks go by calling Apocalypse, technically a new entry with the same name as the 2004 film, that happens to be in the making since 2018. See, Capcom, however, pretty much yet to make an official announcement regarding. My guess is that it'll happen eventually by the end of 2022. All we know right now is that the game is a third-person, basically multiplayer. Check it out.
There's nothing in this world I wouldn't do for you. So tear through the flesh and bone, leave me in the freezing cold, but still I won't let you watch me when I fall, when I fall, when I fall.
And number 5. We have here, on the other hand, once again by Capcom, a pretty brand new online game going by the name Exoprimal. See, technically a co-op drop-in, drop-out 5-player dinosaur hunting and survival multiplayer game, technically inspired by the Musou styles just a tad. See, Exoprimal is as of this moment due for release early to mid next year and coming to all consoles in addition to PCs except Switch. Here's the trailer. Coming up behind that, once again it's the one and only mystery IP in the making by Capcom from 2 years ago, Pragmata. Well, one of the projects that has the potential, I believe, to be something incredible, mainly because we have had no official gameplay of it revealed yet. In any case, here's hoping all goes well with this one. I really do have high hopes here. And as I've said, well, rumors has it that we're about to have the gameplay coming over by the end of 2022. And eventually, the game is going to be released mid to late 2023. So keep it in mind.
Rose! It's alright, Rose. It's alright.
And number 7. Well, technically because there's a good chance that you might have missed out, since because it's kind of a DLC rather than a game. But we have on the other hand Resident Evil Village Shadow of Rose DLC, a story-based content that will revolve around Rose Winters and set 16 years after the events of the main game, and the fact that it'll now look very different and extremely harder as to the original game. Well, check it out to accompany the good news. The fine folks at Capcom also released a new trailer too. Here.
Oh, now we have a new little rabbit to pursue.
Moving on, we have Dino Crisis, the one and only, in case you haven't noticed yet. Capcom already has a Dino Crisis inspired project in the making. I've mentioned earlier, going by the name Exoprimal. This is said to be a next generation exclusive and due out next year. Now, as in the case of a remake, which is only rumored, unfortunately, to be quite frank, it could be a while before we get to see that. But the good thing is that we do have Exoprimal in the making. However, nonetheless, if that were supposed to happen, we could be looking at something like this.
What is this?
What is it? Another lizard?
That's no lizard. It's a dinosaur.
Dinosaur?
Look, something's really wrong with this place. This whole mission has gone south.
These guards were shooting at something very recently.
Flashed by pretty quick, but I'm sure I saw something. Rick, open the shutter to the underground area.
At number 9, and technically there simply hasn't been a Mega Man Battle Network game since, I don't know, 2005, 6. So for those of you who have been patiently waiting, here we have with us here today, and actually due for release next year for all consoles too, the pretty much recently announced Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection, technically volume 1, 2, 3, all the way up to the 6 or 7, I'm not really sure. Well, here's the trailer, take a look. Just make sure to stay tuned here for a specific release date in the following months we hear.
Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection.
Up next by Capcom, but once again it's the Resident Evil franchise's much awaited multiplayer iteration that was announced around the same time with Village last year, and now finally releasing October 28 as Resident Evil Reverse. Not really much to talk about with this one, except we know it'll consist of a new story campaign set after the events of the Resident Evil Village, some multiplayer mods, stuff like mercenaries, and basically playable mostly online. Take a look. Tekken X Street Fighter, and this is technically since last year when we heard the project is officially cancelled. There is a lot of hype still going around with this game, and mainly because there's rumors of a new update coming around by the end of 2022. So just keep it in mind, this project could still be alive. And last but not least, we've got once again the old Capcom Stadium, the second, that actually did come around about a week ago. This is just a quick reminder for those of you who missed it. Here's almost everything you'd desire as a package of a Capcom collection. It's got somewhere north of 30 arcade titles included here, be it the Dungeons and Dragons, Black Tiger, Magic Sword, Knights of the Round, just you name it. Here everything basically runs pretty smooth. Obviously it is bug-free and delivers nothing but just perfection. Check it out.